Right, there's a new collection coming from Capcom and celebrating 35 years of fighting games, and this is Capcom Fighting Collection, and I thought I'd have a fun derivative of a normal review, and I'm going to take these 10 games and put them in my preference from least to best. There is not a bad game on here. You're going to have your favorites and preferences. I have mine, and so here we go. We're going to jump right in, and first up, my least favorite, but it's still a good game, is Pocket Fighter. Now, for a lot of people out there, especially hardcore fighting fans, this was like a simple scaled down version, taking, characters from Puzzle Fighter, I do believe, and putting them in an actual fighting game, taking that 6-button control away. This was just all right for me. It has a small roster, it has great, cute graphics, and so what you're doing is you're collecting various gems to power up, I do believe, flash attacks. There's zany combos, and this is not going to be for everybody. I thought it was good, but it's not my cup of tea. And, I'd rather play a more traditional Street Fighter fighting game or some other Capcom fighting games that are on this collection. But I know for some out there, you may love this variation on a traditional fighting franchise with some zany moves to pull off and stuff. Check it out. This next one is another unique offering, first time to home consoles, and this is Red Earth, also known as Warzard in Japan, and this was inspired by other Capcom releases such as Magic Sword and King of Dragons. You take one of 4 heroes and fight various bosses, and this almost plays like an action game. And so the setting takes place on an alternative version of Earth. And what makes this Capcom fighting game unique is it does offer fatalities, but I really like the art style of this. I just don't have a lot of experience with it. I didn't grow up with this, and while others I know are huge fans of this game, I need to play this one more to really have a full opinion of it. And as of right now, I'm going to list it here. What do you think? In the 90s, Capcom was definitely on a roll, and another kind of overlooked game that they made was Cyberbots. My first experience with this was playing this at a buddy's house who imported it from Japan for his Sega Saturn. I remember it had a huge box. And, if you like battling it out with bots, this might be for you. And just another one that I just don't have a ton of experience with. But what I played so far, it's good. I think it's okay for a Capcom fighting game. Capcom made some of the best fighting games ever. And so I know that there's people out there that this is going to be like one of their top games. For me, I think I'd rather play a more standard Capcom fighting game, as this was just yet another variation of the successes that they were making. Now, some people love those. Some people love this franchise. Some people love this game. I like it. I don't know if I love it. Next up is actually more of a puzzle game, but it was super popular, and it's a Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, and I really enjoyed this game. I've played several versions of it. I'm a big puzzle fan. So, this game for me is higher on the list, as I really enjoyed this. And it takes characters, super deformed characters from Street Fighter and Darkstalkers series, and pits them against one another. So you're forming larger gems, and then what you do is you make contact with these gems with a crash gem, and then you can send a ridiculous amount of garbage to your opponent. And I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed playing this with friends back in the day. I did play it in the arcades. This is definitely higher on the list for me. I don't know, have you played this one? Which version did you play? Definitely in the comments below, let me know what you think. Next up starts the sweet spot of this fighting collection, and this is the original Darkstalkers, which came out in 1994 and was ported to various consoles. And for some out there, this is going to be the reason why to pick up this collection. This is the original. I remember playing this in the arcades. I remember playing it on various home ports But this is really just the sweet spot of Capcom in the 90s. Just fantastic animation and great gameplay. This is the original, which I do like the characters more in this collection than others. And the gameplay is really solid. I do like going back to the original. And for me, this is one that has exceptional quality for a Capcom fighting game. Lots of great animation and great gameplay tweaks. This is going to be one for sure that many are going to enjoy. Next is a sequel, Night Warriors Darkstalkers Revenge, and I know for some out there, this was their favorite. I really enjoyed this one. I played a lot of the Saturn port, as I thought it was fantastic. Excellent animation, and it really kind of kicks it up a notch with gameplay. You could store up to more than one special in this one, and you can unleash them. Lots of cool moves and unique characters. 2 additional characters I do believe added to this one. I played this one more, and so it is higher up on my list as I have more experience with it. You know, I'm an average casual fighting game fan in general, but this one's excellent. This is everything that Capcom was doing right, and it shows, as I think for some, this is going to be high on their list. This next variation is Vampire Savior 2, which takes Vampire Savior and mixes it up because it includes some characters from Night Warriors. And so for those that like that sequel, this is kind of cool because this is the first time it's being offered outside of Japan. Really neat, and it's kind of cool to see these combinations of characters. And I really like this one. I don't have a lot of experience with it, as, you know, it wasn't available. But, you know, I like what they've done here. You know, this is kind of a variation, so the next few games might be intermixed on your own list. Definitely in the comments, let me know. But yeah, this is the first time playing this. I really enjoyed this. This is one of the playable characters in this variation, and I enjoyed it. For sure, this is going to be a favorite for some, and for others, it's going to be the first time playing it. Honestly, I don't remember exactly when I played Vampire Savior, but I enjoyed it. It added some additional characters, and I thought it really kind of spruced up some of the roster from the previous games. And some people would prefer the previous game rosters, and that's why they made some variations, but I really like this one. I want to say I played it around the era of PlayStation, but, you know, that was not the best port. I do believe it was Darkstalkers 3 is what it was called there. But yes, playing this arcade version for sure is the best way to go. And everything's here. Awesome characters and animation. I just was blown away with how much animation is in the Darkstalkers series. It's like playing and fighting with a cartoon. I really enjoyed what Capcom has done here, and this is one of my favorite ones. Another pseudo sequel that we didn't get here in the States and now offered on this collection is Vampire Hunter 2. And this takes the Vampire Savior game and offers a few characters from Night Warriors. And I think this is the one that I like the most of these. It's kind of confusing too because, you know, they all kind of blend in with one another. But, you know, for me, I thought this one was my favorite that I like to play, and even though it's not a true sequel, it's a variation. You're gonna have, you know, your character that you prefer in version, but I like this one. You know, Pyron was a lot of fun to play with, and this is one that, you know, for me, I'm gonna go back and play more. For sure, one of the best Darkstalkers games for me. What is your favorite? While this could be debated whether or not it's the best version of Street Fighter 2, Hyper Street Fighter 2 is pretty cool because you can pit all the characters of the Street Fighter 2 games against one another. So it's really neat. You get these great combinations of characters fighting it and duking it out. And while some may think that Street Fighter 2 franchise is overrated, I think it's excellent. You know, this is something I grew up with. You know, it really changed the landscape of fighting games forever. And for me, it's top of the list. One of the best games on this collection, and definitely one to check out. So this collection is going to be available June 24th. You can pre-order it now. Available on PC, Switch, PS4 and Xbox One, as well as physical for Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. So awesome. Thanks for coming to my channel. If you like what you see, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and clicking the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care.